What's up, my comic comrades? Recently, we just did an origin of the Darkest Knight, aka the final form of the Batman Who Laughs. And you can check that episode out right here. But that isn't the only origin we recently got for Dark Multiverse Batman. We also got the origin of the Robin King, a version of Batman that we haven't heard of until recently. And we recently just got his full-blown origin. And all I have to say is, it's absolutely crazy. One of the most twisted and gory ones thus far, so you're gonna wanna listen to this whole thing. The Robin King's origin is given to us in the one-shot death metal Legends of the Dark Knight. With that said, let's get into it. And obviously there's gonna be spoilers all over the place because I'm literally telling you his origin. The story starts off with Alfred bloody, holding a gun and missing a shoe inside of Wayne Manor. Alfred then says, "This is Alfred Thaddeus Crane Pennyworth, recording on late Master Wayne's medical notes recorder." Not in my wildest dreams could I ever have imagined that Wayne Manor, my home for so many years, would become an actual battleground, but it has. And a blood-stained one at that. The most sickening fact in all of this is that the true enemy was me. Alfred then brings the recorder down from his mouth, looking down defeated and depressed, saying every omen, every sign, I ignored. Because he was my boy too, Bruce Wayne, and only by the grace of God was I able to subdue him, momentarily. But in case my efforts are in vain, I wanted to leave something behind to warn Gotham, that its prince is quite mad. You won't believe me, I know he's too smart to let it show. Alfred then goes on to recount times through Bruce's childhood where he saw signs that something was seriously wrong, like the time he bashed a rattle across Alfred's face, making him bleed, or how he would stab his stuffed animals with his mother's knitting needles. But then it gets even crazier as we see Bruce setting cars on fire. We then see things like Bruce killing his pet goldfish by strangling it with his bare hands and putting a cat in the microwave, then turning it on. He also dissected a bat while it was still alive, with joy in his eyes, mind you, from the pain he was causing it. But it doesn't stop there. He pushed a man off a ladder, beat a kid over the head with a cricket bat, all cut and dry signs that this kid is loco. Anyway, one night after seeing the movie, him and his parents head out of the theater. And by the way, they didn't see the mark of Zorro in this universe, but rather beware the Grey Ghost, which is an Easter egg and reference to Batman the Animated Series. And as all BTAS fans know, Bruce's favorite childhood show and idol was Grey Ghost. But in this universe, Bruce is actually complaining about the Grey Ghost. Literally, as they leave the theater, Bruce is saying, "I wouldn't have come if I'd known it was in black and white. The blood looks fake." And Thomas, Bruce's dad, says, "The film's a classic, Bruce," to which he replies, "Yeah, classically boring." I just love the contrast how in this universe Bruce hates it, where in Batman the Animated Series, Grey Ghost is his favorite thing ever. So the way writer Peter Tomasi flipped it here to really show how different this Bruce is was awesome. I mean, if the microwaving cats didn't give it away already, this definitely does. Anyway, you guys know what happens next. Joe Chill comes up pointing a gun at all of them saying, "Give me your pearls, your necklace, your money, yada yada yada." But this Bruce, being the psychopath he is, says, "A Glock 17, good choice. Carries 2 more rounds than a Beretta and is half a pound lighter." To which Joe Chill says, "Ha, I like him. Kid knows his guns." Bruce then says, "You're right," as he pulls out a knife and slits Joe Chill's throat. He continues to say, "I know a lot of things, like where's the best spot to cut your artery." But it doesn't end there, friends. Bruce then decides to pick up Joe Chill's gun and point it at his parents. His parents are like, "Put that gun down. What are you doing?" And he responds by shooting both of them several times, killing them in cold blood. He then proceeds to take the gun and plants it in Joe Chill's hand so that when the cops come, they'll think Joe Chill did it and that he was also killed in the confrontation. Again, this Bruce is like Cletus Cassidy psychotic. He even says, after killing Joe Chill and his parents, "Now that's real blood." We are then taken back to Wayne Manor, where Bruce is just looking on a laptop at all the assets he will inherit from his parents when he's 18. And clearly Alfred is not happy with this. Anyway, moments later, Jim Gordon comes knocking on the door saying that someone had shared files with him. They were encrypted, but his daughter helped him open them. He continues to say if what they say about the boy is true, and Alfred interrupts saying, "It's all true." But of course, this Bruce is not gonna go with the cops. So he literally shoots an arrow from a crossbow through Jim Gordon's throat. Alfred, not putting up with this any longer, then gets into a fight with Bruce, one that ends with Alfred using a tranquilizer gun on him. He literally shoots Bruce several times with it. And this brings us full circle to the first page of the story where Alfred is bloody, recording all of this on Thomas Wayne's medical notes recorder. Then as Alfred is continuing to record all of this, we see Bruce come flying through the wall in a Robin costume saying, "How do you like my new uniform, Pennyworth?" Alfred then falls to the ground, dropping his gun, saying, "Stay back." And Bruce says, "Thank you, Alfred, for protecting me all this time, keeping me safe until I was ready." And Bruce is saying all of this as he lifts a heavy statue over his head and over Alfred. But Alfred just looks at him saying, "Go straight to hell, Master Bruce." At which point Bruce brings it down on Alfred's head, and we see blood splatter everywhere. As Bruce says, "After you, old friend." We then see Bruce sitting on a chair with Alfred's bloody body next to him, while he's ringing a bell saying, "Hear that? It's the sound of the Robin King. A new spring is coming. And that, my comic comrades, is the origin of the Robin King. It is easily the most twisted Dark Knight's origin story we've gotten thus far, which says a lot because there has been some doozies, but this one, I mean, Bruce killed his own parents, which is insane because Bruce's whole purpose is based around his parents' death. He literally can't get over it, so he used it as fuel to fight back on any evil that would do such a thing like that to anyone else. So to have Bruce be the person who is that evil and the one who killed his parents is all kind of nuts. But as I say at the end of every episode, we want to know what you guys think, so let us know down below. And just like that, my comic comrades, that brings today's episode to a close. But fear not, if you want some more variant content, check out this episode right here. And if you like our channel, as I always say, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.